I struggled with figuring out the title for today's video. It is Defemorember, but it's also kind of a tutorial, so you can do what I'm doing, but also I'm going to use different supplies because you may not have the exact same supplies I have. So I didn't know how to even title this video. Hey guys, it's Dawn with For Grace Creations, and yes, we are here for Defemorember, and we have our prompt list. Why do I have 2 cups of coffee? Well, because I set the first one down, walked away, did some things, couldn't remember where I put it, which happens occasionally. So I poured myself a new cup of coffee. This one, obviously, is in my Defemorember cup, and yes, there's coffee all over it. Why? Because I also spilled this morning. I oftentimes keep just white printer paper nearby me wherever I'm drinking my coffee because I'm notorious for slopping it a little, and I'll use the paper to wipe it up. That is actually what these pages are, yeah, I thought I'd show you this because today's prompt is altered envelope and coffee mugs stains. So, coffee mug stains. Ay. Okay, let's just jump into this. Oh boy. I don't know how this is going to go because my brain's everywhere. Okay, so I've already taken a drink of this cold coffee. So I'm going to take the warm coffee, take a sip now, set it to my right. Oh boy, goodness sakes. And then this one, I'll go ahead and set it here for just a second because I want to show you when I'm done drinking my coffee. I have this old spray bottle from Dawn dish soap, and I will usually dump it in here. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't drink coffee, I am going to give you another idea or two for this prompt because coffee-stained mugs. What if you don't drink coffee? It means you don't have coffee. If you have instant coffee, you can mix it with water and put it in a jug. Anyway, okay, Dawn, set the cold coffee aside. I'm going to set these wipe up the coffee mess things. Oh, I should show you. Yeah, that's my coffee mug after things have spilled. You know, it's sitting there and it drips down. Yeah. Okay, where should we start? Let's start with the altered envelope first, okay? So, do you have any envelopes? I happen to already have these in my stash. There's 3 of them. I went looking for 2 envelopes that were the same size, and this is all I got. Otherwise, I'd show you white ones. They have already been stained with coffee, as you can tell, and this was quite a while ago. So they're all wrinkled because they were in a drawer. Yeah, if you've got 2 matching envelopes, go ahead and grab those. And then what I would do is I would take my spray bottle and I would spray them front and back with a little coffee, not thoroughly, or, well, you can if you want, but just spray them a little bit, and then let them dry, okay? And if you don't have envelopes that match, hang on, I'm going to show you something you can do to make an envelope. Okay, so, but my very first idea, now keep in mind, we're compartmental making. That means that you can do some prep work, stop anytime you want, set your things aside, and come back to them later, right? So we're going to do a little bit of that today. But this first idea, I'm only going to make one to show you because I'll make the others off camera. This third one I don't need. I'm going to just throw it on the floor next to me because oh boy, I'm working with very little space right now. To you, it looks like I've got lots of space, but I don't. There's stuff everywhere. So we take the 2 envelopes, okay? Altered envelopes. They're already altered. We could stop here because we sprayed them with coffee, right? How did I get these little round things? Well, a long time ago, somebody sent me this. Now, this is coffee dyed paper, but this is actually either a stamp or it's a stencily, I think it was a Tim Holtz stamp. Okay, so you get your, oxide or whatever ink you use, and there you go. Perfect. It looks like a coffee stain. We all know that a coffee mug is not that small, but it gives you that illusion. Well, with mine, because I didn't know what to do, I don't have that stamp. what I did, I took my glue bottle. Do I have? I do not happen to have the glue bottle next to me. You could use any size. For instance, maybe you have a glue stick, or let's see, what do I have? Oh, you know what? I've got my little water bottle. Or maybe you have some art glitter glue. Either way, it's going to make a small circle. Watch what you do. Let me set that aside. And I'm actually not going to do it on here because we're going to use these in a second. We'll just use this. Set these down. Do you have any oxide spray? This is not ground espresso, which would be coffee, but it's walnut stain. It'll do something similar. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of spray the bottle itself, okay? And, oops, keep that there. Spray okay. So now you have a circle, but it doesn't look like a coffee stain, does it? No. Well, would it if we set this down and now spray water and let it drip? Let's just see. Okay. No, it doesn't. So what I do know works is this. Whoops. Oh, that's that. Oh my gosh, darn. What I do know works is this. Take some of this, spray a little on your desk. Oh, Dawn, you were supposed to do a little water, thin it down. Okay. Let's just, oh my gosh, let's wipe the mess off of this bottle real quick. And since, well, I'm not going to get it fully dry, and this is all running, we're going to go ahead and let it run some more. And I'm going to set this on the floor next to me to dry. And I'm going to grab a different coffee stain paper. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's do our water bottle. Plop it down in here and wiggle it around, okay? And then put it on your paper. Let it sit for a minute. Pull it off. Look at that. And we can do that multiple times. Now, if you don't have this spray bottle, that's fine. Okay, let's grab our glue stick. Okay, we'll take the bottom, dip it in here, let it sit, and there we go. It's a little bit different mark, right? But you're still getting that look of coffee stains. I know I was going to show you the envelope first, but I just wanted to show you this. The other thing, let's clean this up. See, the paper next to you is great, especially if you know you're going to be working on some grungy stuff, because this can now sit and dry, and it'll be perfect for a grungy project. But, okay, if you want to make real coffee mug stains, you could set this down and grab your coffee spray bottle and spray the edge of your cup and just let it run. And then usually I let it sit. We could turn the cup, see what that'll do. There's a little bit of a coffee mug stain. Move it over here. We got another one. Over here. We've got another one. See, we've got our coffee mug stains. Maybe we'll dip it in here again and go over here. So that's just a few ways to make some coffee stains. I'm going to set this aside. Oh my goodness. All right, so the next thing, our two little, but now you know how I got those. Our two little envelopes. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just fold one envelope flap backwards. You know, that's supposed to be this way. Fold it backwards. And tuck this down in here, into the other envelope. Do you see that? We just tucked it in. Yep. Now, what I'm going to do, I need glue. I'm going to get these things out of the way. Doesn't really matter what glue you use. I'm going to, while it's tucked, I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to put some glue down in there so that it ensures it stays. Kind of press it down. Okay, now, if, let's say, we're going to take this scrap paper. Let's say this is a page in your journal. You have a few options. You could then glue this whole thing down, and you now have what looks like an envelope, but it's a tuck spot. You open it up, you have writing space and another tuck spot, and it's glued down. Or you could even just glue the back side on each side and the bottom and have another tuck spot right there. Or you could simply tuck it on a page like this and put a paper clip on there, and it's a floating double pocket writing space. So that's one. Very simple. You could make, you know, a few of these, and voila, you have compartmental making done, and you could decorate them later when you go to use them in a journal to add some color so it matches the journal. Oh, Dawn, put the lid on your glue. Or sip of coffee. Let's set this aside. So that's, where is, I have, okay, here's my little compartment to hold things today. We could come back and decorate this. As a matter of fact, you remember yesterday we did the snippet in Grandma's buttons? We could do something as simple as grab something from yesterday. Here we go. There's a snippet with some buttons, and we could glue it down. Let's just do that. Let's see. I want some of it to hang down, or watch. We could glue the bottom down, and then you have a little tuck spot for your envelope flap. I'm not going to do that. I want to go ahead and just do this. There we go. And I am leaving a little hanging down, see? We want to make sure it really gets stuck down there. There we go. And maybe we'll stop there, you know? And that's where we then put it away in our compartment. And that is also why we don't have to finish all the pieces right away, because then we have some stuff left to use to decorate things another day. So there's our one. Now, let's say you don't have two envelopes that match. Okay. Here's what I want to show you. This is a prototype. What I used was printer paper that I wiped up coffee stains and some ground espresso distress oxide. Any brown will work. Oh, Dawn. Yeah. My glue, and I wonder why it dries out. And this one flips up and then flips out. And you have a lot of writing space. So let me show you how I did that. You could glue it just like you would the other envelope and make, you know, pocket here, but I didn't. You know, we could do that. I don't know. Hold on. But it looks like an envelope, and you would glue this down to your page, right? So then it flips up and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, yep. And so we're going to set this aside. Let's get just a piece of printer paper that we've mopped up coffee with. Let me just come here and show you my mess. And do you see that? Yeah, I put this coffee cup down wet. So let's go ahead and mop that up real quick. Oh, it's more than I thought. There we go. Put it back. Okay, now we can come back down here and you can see what I'm doing. All right, so this one, grab a cutter, whatever cutter you've got, and all we want to do is we want to make two squares that are exactly the same size. So this is 8.5 by 11, and I think if we go, I can't do two that are 8.5. Let's go ahead and let's cut them at 6. So I'm going to line it up at the 6 inches and cut, and then turn and go 6 again. Okay, so we have a 6 by 6 square. Can we get a 6 by 6 out of this? Oh, crap. We can't. It's 5. So what I should have done was 5.5 by 5.5 square. But now that I've messed up, what we need to do is a 5 by 5. It's already 5 inches this way. let's turn it and go 5 inches this way. I'm sorry, guys. So, a 5 by 5 square is what we have. We now need to turn this into a 5 by 5 square. So line it up at the 5. Okay. And then turn and line it up at the 5. There we go. So we have 2 5 by 5 squares. Again, we could have gone 5.5 by 5.5. I was not using my brain because not enough coffee. Here we go, junk journal medicine. So now what are we going to do? Now, turn them this way. We're going to, well, you know what? To make them exact, what we could do, because my other one wasn't exact, we'll just set them together. Come on now. Line each other up. There. We'll fold the 2 sides in to where the corners meet. And we'll fold them there. And then we fold this bottom one up. And it looks like we have an envelope now. But we need the top flap, which, okay, mine's a little sideways. It's okay. Not a big deal. And we're just going to, oh boy, fold that down. And it will look like our flap. I know, it's totally not even. But at least they're folded the same way, right? So here's what we're going to do. If we look at this one, okay, here's what I did. I kept these folded like this, and I took one of them, and I glued the flap over. Let's see. So I just turned this one upside down and kind of line it up at the top of this flap, and that's what we'll glue down. But first, so we can kind of see, I'll just take brown. You can use whatever color you want. I'll take brown and just kind of accentuate the flap. So I know this will not be considered an altered envelope, but maybe you don't have an envelope. That's all I'm doing, is showing you how to go about some prompts when you don't have what they call for. You know what I mean? Like maybe you don't drink coffee, but you have tea. I use tea. It's fine. It doesn't have to be exact. Or maybe, you know, you have this spray stain. Great. But if not, it's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to glue this flap down here. So now it looks like an envelope, but when it's glued to a page, it's not an envelope. It's a bunch of writing space. Now this one, no, because see, it doesn't line up. And that's okay. But the other one, this one goes up farther. I folded it. It's still wonky. Look at that. Doesn't matter. This one, I am going to go ahead and put glue on the sides here and here. And I'm going to fold it up. Hey, I shouldn't have gotten glue on the tip. Okay. Glue it down. And now this bottom one is a pocket. Oh, will this fit down there? Oh, if we trim it just a hair, it will. Get my scissors out from under the pile. Let's actually trim a little off this side. There we go. And we've got a journaling card down in there. Okay, now we've got these we can put in here. Now, do we want to put Grandma's buttons on them or no? No? Okay. Oh, but what I do have, let's do a little something real quick. I have this die cut. Let me dump them out on this. And the die cut, I rarely use because it has little pieces, and I do not like finagling the little pieces. But I grabbed them, and they're little coffee cups. And, you know, the steam coming off the coffee. So, and then I guess maybe the saucers for the coffee, plates, whatever you want to call them. So I thought maybe what we could do actually is we could really quick just decorate one of, well, let's just do it. So let's take a little piece that's supposed to be a plate. If you don't have this, that is okay. Don't worry about it. Just use whatever you want to use to decorate your altered envelope. There we go. And then maybe we'll get the brown steam here. Come on. It's hard to glue these tiny little pieces. And we'll just attempt to get it stuck down. Is that good enough? I think that is. See? Now we need our coffee stain on here. So I'm going to spray a little of this. And I'm going to come in and spray some water. And I'm going to get my glue stick. And I'm going to plop. And it looks like a coffee stain. And I'm going to go ahead and do it down here. Like that. Oh gosh, I'm having too much fun. There we go. Now it needs to dry. Let's do this one really quick. And maybe we'll use a green plate. We'll put it down here. And we'll use this coffee mug. There we go. Put that down. And then we need some steam. How about this one? And we'll get some glue on that. And voila. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yep. Coffee mug stains. Okay, that needs to dry. Now I'm going to take these, and since they're done, I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to save them, because even if all you did was that, it's a start, it's compartmentalization, you've got stuff to work with later. That is the key. So we'll put that down in here, and we're going to put these down in here. So we've got 3. Now, I had one more idea. Let me shut this. There we go. And then move stuff out of the way. And I'm going to clean up this wet mess with this paper here. There we go. All right. I'm grabbing a couple other papers. They're dry. Oh, that one's not. That's from this morning. I have one dry anyway. All right. I have some, let's see. Let me grab this one. I have some envelopes that are from bills and such that come in the mail. If you have any of these, grab some. They are so fun to use. And what I thought we would do is, oh boy, I thought I had, okay, we've got Grandma's buttons there. We could use to decorate. So why don't we just alter this? And I cut it open right there, right? So we could make 2 pockets with this. Should we do that? Or I have a friend sent me this. It's an altered pocket using a bill envelope. We could do that. So yeah, let's just go for it. Let's cut it off right about here. And it looks like she then went like that and like that, okay? And then she folded this down. And it looks like she glued that. And we now have an altered envelope. And then she did some fun stuff with this. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And for this one, Grandma's buttons. Will they fit down in there? Oh, yeah, I may have to trim it a little bit. Yeah, I do need to trim it. And I think to be able to do this properly, I actually need to cut this so I can open it. There we go. And what I'll do is finagle it open, I think. Can we get the whole thing? Yeah. And I'm going to put glue around the edges. And then I'm going to take this and set that down in there. Oh, it's not tall enough. Let's see, can we make it tall enough? Yeah, there we go. And we've decorated that window. And then we want to come in here and make sure, I'm going to get my little towel thing. We want to make sure we didn't get glue seeping out. Because we don't want this to glue shut. It's supposed to be a pocket in the end. And we'll just glue it again on the side to make it a pocket again. There we go. Okay, and then coffee mug stains. What we can do is we can get the leftover piece here, and I think just go like that. Will that fit down in there as a tag? It will. It's a little big. So we'll just cut that piece off and then go like that. And let's see. It's kind of flimsy for a tag, isn't it? Maybe if we glue it to this. Let's do that. Let's just take our stick glue and get glue all over, really focusing on the edges for sure. Okay, and then just glue that down. And cut it out. Like so. Oh, oh, oh. I think I'll cut off this end piece. No, I'll leave it. Why not? There we go. And then, here's what we'll do. Coffee mug stain. So I think we'll take our coffee and spray the cup and let her rip. There we go. Yep. And of course, there is a puddle. And so maybe we come in here with another piece of paper and soak up some of that wetness. Oh, now it doesn't look like a coffee cup stain, does it? And we've got wetness over here. Oh, darn. That's okay. Here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and spray that. get a little water. And let's just get our cup dipped in there. And let it sit. I always forget about that part. There we go. There's our coffee mug stain. And then maybe you don't have the Grandma's Button gel plate print like I have. Okay, fine. Did you do anything like this with an actual button? Well, what we could do is decorate the top of the tag with this, and you could glue it on, or I'm going to staple it just because I like that look. Oh, or let's see. I kind of like it better like that. So you know what I'll do? I'm going to grab some of my Fabri-Tac, and I hope there's enough left. And then just, come on, oozy-goozy it all over. There we go. And we can then glue that down to the top. And because I do, like I said, like the look of a staple, I'm just going to give it one staple. There we go. And we have a tag, right? Now, you could come back and decorate this, or maybe just get it in the coffee mixture and then let it dry. Obviously, we need to let it dry. Come on. Let's spread it around with our hands. Why not? Yep. There we go. And we need to let it dry, but there is another one done. And maybe you have a whole snippet. This one doesn't have actual buttons on it. It does have the print of that stencil, Grandma's Buttons. Maybe you want to take this and cut it into a tag shape. We just have a rectangle. Oh, okay, Dawn, that didn't work. Okay, cut it straight. Fold it in half. Make the sides match by cutting the edge off. There we go. A tag shape to go down into another pocket. And here's another. And of course, yeah. So this one, I'm not going to decorate the inside because I actually think that sometimes when you put a tag down in there, it's fun to see the tag, but that's not quite wide enough. You'll see the back. So I wonder if I have one that's a little different shape. Let's see. I do. I've got that. Let's use that one. And I will, let's see, let's measure about there. So I'm going to cut it because I want it sticking out a little. I'm going to cut it right here. Oh, wait, no, we want to cut it a little bigger because, remember, we're going to fold it over like so. And then I don't know that stick glue will hold well enough, but we're going to glue that side down. Oh, look at all the scraps in my way. And we're going to just color this like this. Shoot, we could even spray a little more coffee. And yes, all this needs to dry. You could use a heat gun or just let it sit in the open air to dry. I do have the wood stove going today, but it's all the way in the other room. All right. That is, for me, that is good enough. Now, I will want to glue some paper to the back. Let's use a dry one because, Dawn, that's wet. Try and find a scrap over here. Okay. No, that's the wet one again. Dawn. All right. Sheesh. Oh, you know what? This has thread on it. So let's actually come in with this other glue. And see, there's a benefit to not using everything that you compartmentalized or did. Compartmental making, you set things aside. You did what you can do in the amount of time you had, and you set the rest aside. And look, there's a benefit because the next day you can use it in your next project. I love that. So then we have to come in here and kind of trim the excess off. There we go. I believe one of my YouTube viewers made this for me, this snippet, and sent it to me, and I just did the grandma's button stencil over top. There we go. And we have writing space. And there's still room in our altered pocket to put something else. Now, I will say, since this is kind of colorful, I do want to take this grandma's button and maybe do something with it. But first, we do need our coffee mug stain. So maybe, let's see, I'm trying to see what I have. I've got this. It already has the coffee mug stain on it. So why don't we, let's see, let's just cut it like this. And then maybe we glue some of this down first, like that, yeah. Now, I know I'm doing a little decorating right now, but off camera, I am going to make more of these altered envelopes. That way I have a stack of them to use later in other projects. There we go. Okay, so that's there. Put the lid on this glue because since this is fabric here, I do want to use this Fabri-Tac. And I don't think it's really connected well enough. We need to get glue underneath there to really keep it down. I'm afraid it'll come apart later. Okay, now we can get glue on the back and use yesterday's prompt to decorate today's altered envelope. Yep. Yay! All right, well, I've taken up enough of your time. I hope I've given you some ideas for this prompt today of altered envelope and grandma's buttons. We've got a few, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things done today. Yay! So at least there's 5, and I've got these coffee cup things for later. And that's wet. I don't want to put it away. That's wet. I don't want to put it away. Well, and then I've got this piece I could use later, so I may as well keep that in with all of that. And I mean, I've got this. I could do a little bit more. And you know what? All these scraps don't need to go to waste. I actually, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'll just take another minute and show you what to do with some of your scrap to use as decoration or something for your altered envelopes down the road. There we go. There we go. Now, if you don't have this stuff, but you do have coffee, by all means, pour a little on there. There we go. And then, why don't we use an actual coffee mug on this one? Okay, and we'll let that dry. And then this one, there we go. I'm going to let that dry. And this is going to have that and that. Oops, I didn't get much on there. And that. And then maybe I'll grab my glue stick and do a few more. Oh, how fun is that one? Ooh, this is so much fun. And maybe there, and then I'm going to get a little more color into this, and I think I'll use my art glitter glue. Yeah, because this will make great, well, collage fodder. What does that mean? It's just stuff to use later in your projects. And we can just go about having fun. Now, if you have a stamp that does this, cool. Use that by all means. If you have scraps that are big enough to use your actual coffee mug on, woohoo! By all means, do that. There we go. But as you can tell, this is what I'm going to be doing. And yes, I will be putting one of my prototypes into the journal that Patty made me. I'll probably do actually one of each prototype because I want to remember how to do one of each that I showed you today. There we go. Oh, I have all this mess to clean up still. So I'm going to go now, guys. I have lots of mess to clean up. But I hope you enjoy your day. And I hope that this gave you some ideas for today's prompt. Yeah, look at my mess. But mess is fun, is it not? All right, guys. Ooh, I'm going to need to put some of the... Oh, well, it's coffee dyed now. I'm going to have to put some of these things away because I got to remember I'm collecting scraps for a giveaway. Make sure you're giving my videos a thumbs up and leaving a comment because at the end of Defemberember, you will be getting some scraps and stash and snacks that I do not fully use during this fun play for Defemberember. Yep. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.